Good afternoon. My name is Corey Rogers, historian at the Lucy Craft Laney Museum of Black History in Augusta, Georgia. I first and foremost would like to thank Ms. Sandra May, Wallace Branch Library of the Augusta-Richmond County Public Library System, as well as Michelle Fashion, Director of the Augusta-Richmond County Public Library System, for extending an invitation to partner with the Lucy Craft Laney Museum of Black History to highlight many of the historical and cultural attributes of the historic Laney Walker corridor. And I think it only fitting that for our first time out, we honor the life and legacy of Lucy Craft Laney, often referred to as the mother of the children of the people. Lucy Craft Laney was born in Macon, Georgia in 1854. She was one of 10 children born to Reverend David and Louise Laney. Miss Laney, like her siblings, were born free. After the Civil War, Miss Laney enrolled at Atlanta University, today Clark Atlanta University. She graduated in 1873 in the very first graduating class of the Normal School of Atlanta University. Upon graduation, Lucy Craft Laney taught in Macon, Georgia, Savannah, and finally Augusta. At the behest of several local citizens, Miss Laney started a school for girls in the Fellowship Hall of Christ Presbyterian Church, at the time located on Telfair Street in Augusta, today located in the historic Laney Walker District. Even though this school was supposed to be for young girls, several young boys in the community showed up. So from the very beginning, Miss Laney's school was co-ed. Now, one of the first hurdles that she had to overcome was finances. Miss Laney needed money for her school. So she traveled in the 1880s to Minnesota to meet with the Presbyterian Church. While in Minnesota, Miss Laney met Francine Haynes. Miss Haynes gave Miss Laney $10,000 to establish the school, buy property, and construct the buildings that would become the Haynes Institute. Miss Laney, to honor Miss Haynes, named the school after her. Thus was born the Haynes Normal and Industrial Institute. By the turn of the century, Haynes had a national reputation. Students from all over the country, from Harlem, New York, from Charlotte, North Carolina, Alabama, Texas, and even Illinois, came to Augusta to be educated by the great visionary educator Lucy Craft Laney. Even Mary McLeod Bethune, arguably the most well-known educator of the 20th century, got much of her early training at the Haynes Institute under the tutelage of Lucy Craft Laney. During her time in Augusta, Lucy Craft Laney established a private boarding school, the aforementioned Haynes. She established a primary school located on the campus of Haynes. And as if she didn't have enough on her plate, Lucy Laney also established a nursing school, the first of its kind for African-American women in Augusta, called the Lamar School of Nursing. Miss Laney was also a social activist, or a civil rights activist, if you will. 103 years ago, February 1917, at Miss Laney's home, Miss Laney and 30 other Augustans welcomed from Harlem, New York, the national field organizer of the NAACP, James Weldon Johnson. James Weldon Johnson met with Miss Laney and the other Augustans to form the Augusta branch of the NAACP. Miss Laney died at the age of 79 in 1933. She is buried on the campus of what is today Lucy Craft Laney Comprehensive High School. At the time of her passing, thousands of people descended upon Augusta to pay final respects to the visionary educator, administrator, and social activist, the woman that Dr. Mordecai Johnson president of Howard University, called the Mother of the Children of the People in June of 1930. Miss Laney never married, nor had any children of her own, but her niece, Margaret Louise Laney, lived here with her for several decades. Margaret was from Washington, D.C., the daughter of Dr. Frank Laney, Miss Laney's younger brother. As a matter of fact, Margaret would take over from Miss Laney as the principal of the Haynes Institute, after which the Reverend A.C. Griggs would take over from 1934 until the time Haynes closed in 1949. 1949 was a pivotal year in the legacy of Lucy Craft Laney. In that year, the Augusta public school system merged Haynes and A.R. Johnson, and A.R. Johnson, the Panther, and Haynes, the Tiger, became the Lucy Craft Laney High School Wildcat, and thus was born Lucy Laney High School. In the 1970s, then Governor, future President Jimmy Carter, honored Miss Laney alongside Bishop Henry McNeil Turner of the AME Church. In August of 1974, there were portraits rendered and still hang in the state capitol in Atlanta to honor both Henry McNeil Turner and Lucy Craft Laney. And if that wasn't enough, in that same year, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was also honored. So Miss Laney was in great company. In June of 1991, the Visionary Sisters of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, the Augusta Alumni Chapter, opened the Lucy Craft Laney Museum of Black History under Delta House Incorporated. For the past 30 years, we have endeavored to honor the legacy of the great Lucy Laney through educating young people in the community, through hosting tours of the home, and through carrying forth the legacy of a great woman who was once called the mother of the children of the people. So on behalf of the Lucy Craft Laney Museum of Black History, I once again would like to thank the Augusta-Richmond County Public Library, and stay tuned for a brand new historical segment in December. Thank you.